To begin at the beginning. It is spring, moonless night in the small town, starless and Bible black, the cobbled streets silent and the hunched quarters and rabbits wood limping invisible down to the slow black, crow-black fishing boat bobbing sea. The houses are blind as moles, though moles see fine tonight in the snouting velvet dingles, or blind as Captain Cat there in the muffled middle by the pump and the town clock, the shops in mourning, the welfare hall in widow's weeds, and all the people of the lulled and dumbfound town are sleeping now. Hush, the babies are sleeping, the farmers, the fishers, the tradesmen and pensioners, cobblers, schoolteacher, postman and publican, the undertaker and the fancy woman, drunkard, dressmaker, preacher, policeman, the webfoot, cockle women, and the tidy wives. Young girls lie bedded soft or glide in their dreams with rings and trousseaux, bridesmaided by glowworms down the aisles of the organ-playing wood. The boys are dreaming wicked, or of the bucking ranches of the night and the jolly Rogered sea. And the anthracite statues of the horses sleep in the fields, and the cows in the byres, and the dogs in the wet-nosed yards, and the cats nap in the slant corners, or lope, sly, streaking and needling on the one cloud of the roofs. You can hear the dew falling, and the hushed town breathing. Only your eyes are unclosed to see the black and folded town fast and slow asleep. And you alone can hear the invisible starfall, the darkest before dawn minutely dew-grey stir of the black dab-filled sea, where the Arethusa, the curlew, the skylark, Zanzibar, Rhiannon, the rover, the cormorant, and the star of Wales tilt and ride. Listen. It is night, moving in the streets, the processional salt, slow musical wind in Coronation Street and Cockle Row. It is the grass growing on Llaregib Hill, dewfall, starfall, the sleep of birds in Milkwood. Listen, it is night in the chill, squat chapel, hymning in bonnet and brooch and bombazine black, butterfly choker and bootlace bow, coughing like nanny goats, sucking mintos, 40 winking hallelujah. Night in the 4 ale, quiet as a domino. In Ocky Milkman's lofts, like a mouse with gloves. In Dye Bread's bakery, flying like black flour. It is tonight in Donkey Street, trotting silent with seaweed on its hooves, along the cockled cobbles, past curtained fern pot, text and trinket, harmonium, holy dresser, watercolors done by hand, china dog, and rosy tin tea caddy. It is night, neddying among the snuggeries of babies. Look, it is night, dumbly, royally winding through the coronation cherry trees, going through the graveyard of Bethesda with winds gloved and folded and dew-doffed, tumbling by the sailors' arms. Time passes. Listen. Time passes. Come closer now. Only you can hear the houses sleeping in the streets in the slow, deep, salt and silent, black, bandaged night. Only you can see in the blinded bedrooms the combs and petticoats over the chairs, the jugs and basins, the glasses of teeth, thou shalt not on the wall, and the yellowing dicky bird watching pictures of the dead. Only you can hear and see behind the eyes of the sleepers the movements and countries and mazes and colors and dismays and rainbows and tunes and wishes and flight and fall and despairs and big seas of their dreams. From where you are, you can hear their dreams. Captain Cat, the retired blind sea captain, asleep in his bunk in the sea-shelled, ship-in-bottle, ship-shaped best cabin of schooner house, dreams of...
Never such seas as any that swamped the decks of his SS Kidwelly, bellying over the bedclothes and jellyfish slippery, sucking him down salt deep into the Davy dark, where the fish come biting out and nibble him down to his wishbone, and the long-drowned nuzzle up to him.
Remember me, Captain?
You're dancing, Williams.
I lost my step in Nantucket.
Do you see me, Captain, the white bone talking? I'm Tom Fred, the donkey man. We shared the same girl once. Her name was Mrs. Probert.
Rosie Probert, 33 Duck Lane. Come on up, boys. I'm dead.
Hold me, Captain. I'm Jonah Jarvis, come to a bad end. Very enjoyable.
Alfred Pomeroy Jones, sea lawyer, born in Mumbles, sung like a linnet, crowned you with a flagon, tattooed with mermaids, thirst like a dredger, died of blisters.
This skull at your ear hole is?
Curly Bevan. Tell my auntie it was me that pawned the Ormolu clock.
Aye, Curly.
Tell my missus no, I never.
I never done what she said. I never.
Yes, they did.
And who brings coconuts and shawls and parrots to my Gwen now?
How's it above?
Is there rum and lava bread?
Bosoms and robins.
Concertinas.
Ebenezer's bell.
Fighting and onions?
And sparrows and daisies?
Tittlers in a jam jar.
Buttermilk and whippets.
Rockabye baby.
Washing on the line?
And old girls in the snug?
How's the tenors in Dowlice?
Who milks the cows in my squin?
When she smiles, is there dimples?
What's the smell of parsley?
Oh, my dead dears.
From where you are, you can hear in Cockle Row in the spring moonless night, Miss Price, dressmaker and sweet shopkeeper, dream of
Her lover, tall as the town clock tower, Samson syrup gold-maned, whacking-thighed and piping hot, thunderbolt-based and barnacle-breasted, flailing up the cockles with his eyes like blow-lamps, and scooping low over her lonely, loving, hot water bottle body.
Mavanoy Price.
Mr. Morgedra.
I am a draper mad with love. I love you more than all the flannelette and calico, candlewick, dimity, crash and merino, tussor, cretonne, crepon, muslin, poplin, tickin and twill in the whole cloth hall of the world. I have come to take you away to my emporium on the hill, where the change hums on wires. Throw away your little Welsh bed socks and your Welsh wool knitted jacket. I will warm the sheets like an electric toaster. I will lie by your side like the Sunday roast.
I will knit you a wallet of forget-me-not blue for the money to be comfy. I will warm your heart by the fire so that you can slip it in under your vest when the shop is closed.
Mavanoy, before the mice gnaw at your bottom drawer, will you say...
Yes, Mog, yes, Mog, yes, yes, yes.
And all the bells of the tills of the town shall ring for our wedding.
Come now, drift up the dark. Come up the drifting sea-dark street now in the dark night, see-sawing like the sea. To the Bible-black, airless attic over Jack Black, the cobbler shop, where alone and savagely Jack Black sleeps in a nightshirt tied to his ankles with elastic, and dreams of...
Chasing the naughty couples down the grass-green gooseberry double bed of the wood, flogging the tosspots in the spit and sawdust, driving out the bare, bold girls from the sixpenny hops of his nightmares.
Ah, ha-wee! Ah, ha-wee!
Evans the Death, the Undertaker.
Laughs high and aloud in his sleep, and curls up his toes as he sees, upon waking 50 years ago, snow lie deep on the goosefield behind the sleeping house. And he runs out into the field where his mother is making Welsh cakes in the snow, and steals a fistful of snowflakes and currants, and climbs back to bed to eat them, cold and sweet, under the warm white clothes, while his mother dances in the snow kitchen, crying out for her lost currants.
And in the little pink-eyed cottage next to the Undertaker's lie, alone, the 17 snoring, gentle stone of Mr. Waldo, Rabbit catcher, barber, herbalist, cat doctor, quack, his fat, pink hands palms up over the edge of the patchwork quilt, his black boots neat and tidy in the washing basin, his bowler on a nail above the bed, a milk stout and a slice of cold bread pudding under the pillow, and dripping in the dark, he dreams of...
This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed at home. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had none. And this little piggy went...
Wee, 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 wee.
all the way home to...
Waldo! Waldo!
Yes, Bloodwind, love?
Oh, what'll the neighbours say? What'll the neighbours?
Poor Mrs. Waldo.
What she puts up with.
Never should have married.
If she didn't have to.
Same as her mother.
There's a husband for you.
Bad as his father.
And you know where he ended?
Up in the asylum.
Crying for his ma.
Every Saturday.
He hasn't got a leg.
And carrying on.
With that Mrs. Beatty Morris.
Up in the quarry.
And seen her, baby?
It's got his nose.
Oh, it makes my heart bleed.
What he'll do for drink.
He sold the pianola.
And her sewing machine.
Falling in the gutter.
Talking to the lamppost.
Using language.
Singing in the W.
Poor Mrs. Waldo.
Waldo. Waldo.
Hush, love, hush. I'm widower, Waldo, now.
Waldo? Waldo!
Yes, our ma'am?
Oh, what'll the neighbours say? What'll the neighbours?
Black as a chimbley. Ringing doorbells. Breaking windows. Making mud pies. Stealing currants. Chalking words. Saw him in the bushes. Playing muffins. Send him to bed without any supper. Give him cenopods and lock him in the dark. Off to the reformatory. Off to the reformatory. Learn him with a slipper on his BTM.
Waldo? Waldo! What him doing with our Matty?
Give us a kiss, Matty Richards. Give us a penny then.
I only got a halfpenny.
Lips is a penny.
Will you take this woman, Matty Richards?
Dulcie Prothero.
Effie Bevan.
Lil the glue pot.
Mrs. Flusher.
Blodwyn Bowen.
To be your awful wedded wife?
No, no, no!
Now, in her iceberg-white, holily laundered crinoline nightgown and the virtuous polar sheets in her spruced and scoured, dust-defying bedroom in trig and trim bay view, a house for paying guests at the top of the town, Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard, widow twice of Mr. Ogmore Linoleum, retired, and Mr. Pritchard, failed bookmaker, who, maddened by bezooming, swabbing, and scrubbing, the voice of the vacuum cleaner and the fume of polish, ironically swallowed disinfectant, fidgets in her Rin's sleep, wakes in a dream, and nudges in the ribs. Dead, Mr. Ogmore. Dead, Mr. Pritchard. Ghostly on either side.
Mr. Ogmore, Mr. Pritchard, it is time to inhale your balsam.
Oh, Mrs. Ogmore.
Oh, Mrs. Pritchard.
Soon it will be time to get up. Tell me your tasks in order.
I must put my pyjamas in the drawer marked pyjamas.
I must take my cold bath, which is good for me.
I must wear my flannel band to ward off sciatica.
I must dress behind the curtain and put on my apron.
I must blow my nose
In the garden, if you please.
in a piece of tissue paper which I afterwards burn.
I must take my salts, which are nature's friends.
I must boil the drinking water because of germs.
I must make my herb tea, which is free from tannin.
And have a charcoal biscuit which is good for me.
I may smoke one pipe of asthma mixture.
In the woodshed, if you please.
And dust the parlor and spray the canary.
I must put on rubber gloves and search the peak for fleas.
I must dust the blinds, and then I must raise them.
And before you let the sun in, mind it wipes its shoes.
In Butcher Bynan's, Gossamer Bynan, daughter, schoolteacher, dreaming deep, daintily ferrets under a fluttering hummock of chicken's feathers in a slaughterhouse that has chintz curtains and a three-piece suite, and finds, with no surprise, a small, rough, ready man with a bushy tail winking in a paper carrier.
At last, my love.
Sighs Gossamer Bynan, and the bushy tail wags rude and ginger.
Help!
cries Organ Morgan, the organist, in his dream.
There is perturbation and music in Coronation Street. All the spouses are honking like geese and the babies singing opera. P.C. Attila Reese has got his truncheon out and is playing cadenzas by the pump. The cows from Sunday Meadow ring like reindeer, and on the roof of Handel Villa, see the women's welfare hoofing bloomered in the moon.
At the sea end of town, Mr. and Mrs. Floyd, the Cocklers, are sleeping as quiet as death, side by wrinkled side, toothless, salt and brown, like two old kippers in a box. And high above, in Salt Lake Farm, Mr. Utah Watkins counts all night the wife-faced sheep as they leap the fences on the hill, smiling and knitting and bleating, just like Mrs. Utah Watkins.
34, 35, 36, 48, 89.
Knit one, slip one, knit two together, pass the slip stitch over.
Ocky Milkman, drowned asleep in Cockle Street, is emptying his churns into the Dewey River.
Regardless of expense.
And weeping like a funeral.
Cherry Owen, next door, lifts a tankard to his lips, but nothing flows out of it. He shakes the tankard. It turns into a fish. He drinks the fish.
P.C. Attila Reese lumps out of bed, dead to the dark and still foghorning, and drags out his helmet from under the bed. But deep in the backyard lock-up of his sleep, a mean voice murmurs,
"You'll be sorry for this in the morning."
And he heave-hoes back to bed. His helmet swashes in the dark.
Willy-nilly postman, asleep up street, walks 14 miles to deliver the post, as he does every day of the night. And rat-a-tats hard and sharp on Mrs. Willy-nilly.
Don't spank me, please, teacher.
Whimpers his wife at his side. But every night of her married life, she has been late for school.
Sinbad Sailors, over the taproom of the Sailor's Arms, hugs his damp pillow, whose secret name is Gossamer Bynum. A mogul catches Lily Smalls in the washhouse.
Oh, you old mogul!
Mrs. Rose Cottage's eldest, May, peels off her pink and white skin in a furnace, in a tower, in a cave, in a waterfall, in a wood, and waits there, raw as an onion, for Mr. Wright to leap up the burning, tall, hollow splashes of leaves like a brilliantine trout.
Call me Dolores, like they do in the stories.
Alone until she dies, Bessie Bighead, hired help, born in the workhouse, smelling of the cowshed, snores, bass and gruff, on a couch of straw in a loft in Salt Lake Farm, and picks a posy of daisies in Sunday Meadow to put on the grave of Gomer Owen, who kissed her once by the pigsty when she wasn't looking, and never kissed her again, although she was looking all the time. And the inspectors of cruelty fly down into Mrs. Butcher Bynan's dream to persecute Mr. Bynan for selling
owl meat, dog's eyes, man chop.
Mr. Bynan, in Butcher's bloodied apron, spring heels down Coronation Street, a finger, not his own, in his mouth. Straight-faced in his cunning sleep, he pulls the legs of his dreams, and,
hunting on pigback, shoots down the wild giblets. Help!
My foxy darling.
now behind the eyes and secrets of the dreamers in the streets rock to sleep by the sea. See the
titbits and topsy-turvies, bobs and button-tops, bags and bones, ash and rind and dandruff and nail-parings, saliva and snowflake and molted feathers of dreams, the wrecks and sprats and shells and fish bones, whale juice and moonshine and small salt fry, dished up by the hidden sea.
The owls are hunting. Look, over Bethesda gravestones, one hoots and swoops and catches a mouse by Hannah Reese, beloved wife. And in Coronation Street, which you alone can see, it is so dark under the chapel in the skies, the Reverend Eli Jenkins, poet, preacher, turns in his deep towards dawn sleep and dreams of...
I still would die.
He intricately rhymes to the music of Cruth and Pibgorn all night long in his druid seedy nighty, in a beer tent black with parchs.
Mr. Pugh, schoolmaster, fathoms asleep, pretends to be sleeping, spies foxy round the droop of his nightcap and, psst, whistles up. Murder. Mrs. Organ Morgan, groceress, coiled grey like a dormouse, her paws to her ears, conjures
silence.
She sleeps very dulcet in a cove of wool, and trumpeting Organ Morgan at her side, snores no louder than a spider.
Mary Ann Sailors dreams of
The Garden of Eden.
She comes in her smock frock and clogs,
Away from the cool, scrubbed, cobbled kitchen, with the Sunday school pictures on the whitewashed wall, and the farmer's almanac hung above the settle, and the sides of bacon on the ceiling hooks, and goes down the cockle-shelled paths of that apple pie kitchen garden, ducking under the gyppo's clothes pegs, catching her apron on the blackcurrant bushes, past bean rows and onion bed and tomatoes ripening on the wall, towards the old man playing the harmonium in the orchard, and sits down on the grass at his side and shells the green peas that grow up through the lap of her frock that brushes the dew.
in Donkey Street, so furred with sleep, Die Bread, Polly Garter, No Good Boyo, and Lord Cut Glass sigh before the dawn that is about to be, and dream of
Harems.
Babies.
Nothing.
Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock.
Lord Cut Glass, in his kitchen full of time, squats down alone to a dog dish marked Fido of peppery fish scraps and listens to the voices of his 66 clocks, one for each year of his loony age, and watches with love their black and white moony loud-lipped faces talking the earth away. Slow clocks, quick clocks, pendulumed heart knocks, china, alarm, grandfather, cuckoo, clocks shaped like Noah's whirring ark, clocks that bicker in marble ships, clocks in the wombs of glass women, hourglass chambers, to-wit-to-woo clocks, clocks that pluck tunes, Vesuvius clocks, all black bells and lava, Niagara clocks that cataract their ticks, old time-weeping clocks with ebony beards, clocks with no hands forever drumming out time without ever knowing what time it is. His 66 singers are all set at different hours. Lord Cut Glass lives in a house and a life at siege. Any minute or dark day now, the unknown enemy will loot and savage downhill. But they will not catch him napping. 66 different times in his fish-slimy kitchen, ping, strike, tick, chime, and talk.
The lust and lilt and lather and emerald breeze and crackle of the bird praise and body of spring, with its breasts full of rivering May milk, means to that lordly fish-head nibbler nothing but another nearness to the tribes and navies of the last black day, who'll sear and pillage down Armageddon Hill to his double-locked, rusty-shuttered, tick-tock, dust-scrabbled shack at the bottom of the town that has fallen head over bells in love.
And I'll never have such loving again.
Pretty Polly hums and longs.
Now when farmers' boys on the first fair day come down from the hills to drink and be gay, before the sun sinks I'll lie there in their arms, for they're good bad boys from the lonely farms. But I always think as we tumble into bed of little Willie Wee, who is dead, dead, dead.
The sunny, slow, lulling afternoon yawns and moons through the dozy town. The sea lolls, laps, and idles in with fishes sleeping in its lap. The meadows, still as Sunday, the shut-eye, tasseled bulls, the goat and daisy dingles nap happy and lazy. The dumb duck ponds snooze. Clouds sag and pillow on Llaregib Hill. Pigs grunt in a wet wallow bath and smile as they snort and dream. They dream of the acorn swill of the world, the rooting for pig fruit, the bagpipe dugs of the mother sow, the squeal and snuffle of yeses of the women pigs in rut. They mud bask and snout in the pig-loving sun. Their tails curl. They rollick and slobber and snore to deep, smug, after-swill sleep. Donkeys angelically drowse on Donkey Down.
Persons with manners
Snaps Mrs. Cole Pugh.
do not nod at table.
Mr. Pugh cringes awake. He puts on a soft, soaping smile. It is sad and grey under his nicotine, egg-yellow, weeping, walrus, Victorian moustache, worn thick and long, in memory of Dr. Crippen.
You should wait until you retire to your sty.
Says Mrs. Pugh, sweet as a razor. His fawning, measly quarter smile freezes. Sly and silent, he foxes into his chemist's den, and there, in a hiss and prussic circle of cauldrons and phials brimful with pox and the Black Death, cooks up a fricassee of deadly nightshade, nicotine, hot frog, cyanide, and bat spit for his needling, stalactite hag and bednag of a poker-backed nutcracker wife.
I beg your pardon, my dear,
he murmurs with a wheedle.
Captain Cat, at his window thrown wide to the sun, and the clippered seas he sailed long ago when his eyes were blue and bright, slumbers and voyages, ear-ringed and rolling, I love you, Rosie Probert tattooed on his belly. He brawls with broken bottles in the fug and babel of the dark dock bars, roves with a herd of short and good-time cows in every naughty port, and twines and souses with the drowned and blousy-breasted dead. He weeps as he sleeps and sails.
One voice of all he remembers most dearly as his dream buckets down. Lazy early Rosie with the flaxen thatch, whom he shared with Tom Fred the donkey man and many another seaman, clearly and near to him, speaks from the bedroom of her dust. In that gulf and haven, fleets by the dozen have anchored for the little heaven of the night. But she speaks to Captain Napping Cat, alone. Mrs. Probert.
From Duck Lane, Jack. Quack twice and ask for Rosie.
Is the one love of his sea life that was sardined with women.
What seas did you see, Tomcat, Tomcat, in your sailoring days, long, long ago? What sea beasts were in the wavery green when you were my master?
I'll tell you the truth. Seas barking like seals, blue seas and green seas covered with eels and mermen and whales.
What seas did you sail, old whaler, when on the blubbery waves between Frisco and Wales you were my bosun?
As true as I'm here, dear you tomcat start, you landlubber Rosie, you cozy love, my easy as easy, my true sweetheart. Seas green as a bean, seas gliding with swans in the seal barking moon.
What seas were rocking, my little deckhand, my favourite husband, in your sea boots and hunger, my duck, my whaler, my honey, my daddy, my pretty sugar sailor, with my name on your belly, when you were a boy, long, long ago?
I'll tell you no lies. The only sea I saw was the seesaw sea with you riding on it. Lie down, lie easy, let me shipwreck in your thighs.
Knock twice, Jack, at the door of my grave, and ask for Rosie.
Rosie Probert.
Remember her. She is forgetting. The earth which filled her mouth
is vanishing from her. Remember me. I have forgotten you. I am going into the darkness of the darkness forever. I have forgotten that I was ever born.
Look!
Says a child to a mother as they pass by the window of Schooner House.
Captain Cat is crying.
Captain Cat is crying.
Come back! Come back!
Up the silences and echoes of the passages of the eternal night,
He's crying all over his nose.
says the child. Mother and child move on down the street.
He's got a nose like strawberries.
The child says, and then she forgets him too. She sees in the still middle of the Blue Bag Bay no good boyo fishing from the Zanzibar.
No good boyo gave me 3 pennies yesterday, but I wouldn't.
The child tells her mother.
Boyo catches a whalebone corset. It's all he has caught all day.
Bloody funny fish.
Mrs. Diebread, too, gypsies up in his mind's slow eye, dressed only in a bangle.
She's wearing a nightgown. Would you like this nice wet corset, Mrs. Diebread, too?
No, I won't.
And a bite of my little apple?
He offers with no hope.
She shakes her brass nightgown, and he chases her out of his mind. And when he comes gusting back, there in the bloodshot center of his eye, a geisha girl grins and bows in a kimono of rice paper.
I want to be good, boyo, but nobody let me.
He sighs as she writhes politely. The land fades, the sea flocks silently away, and through the warm white cloud where he lies, silky, tingling, uneasy Eastern music undoes him in a Japanese minute.
The afternoon buzzes like lazy bees round the flowers round May Rose Cottage. Nearly asleep in the field of nanny goats who hum and gently butt the sun, she blows love on a puffball.
He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me, the dirty old fool.
Lazy, she lies alone in clover and sweet grass. 17, and never been sweet in the grass. Ho ho.
The Reverend Eli Jenkins, inky in his cool front parlor or poem room, tells only the truth in his life work. The population, main industry, shipping, history, topography, flora and fauna of the town he worships in. The White Book of Llarigib. Portraits of famous bards and preachers, all fur and wool from the squint to the kneecaps, hang over him heavy as sheep, next to faint lady watercolors of pale green milkwood like a lettuce salad, dying. His mother, propped against a pot in a palm with a wedding ring waist and bust like a black cloth dining table, suffers in her stays.
Oh, angels, be careful there with your knives and forks.
He prays. There is no known likeness of his father, Esau, who, undog-collared because of his little weakness, was scythed to the bone one harvest by mistake when sleeping with his weakness in the corn. He lost all ambition and died with one leg.
Poor Dad.
Grieved the Reverend Eli.
To die of drink and agriculture.
Farmer Watkins in Salt Lake Farm hates his cattle on the hill as he hoes them in to milking.
Damn you, you damn dairies!
A cow kisses him.
Bite her to death!
He shouts to his deaf dog, who smiles and licks his hands.
Score him! Sit on him, Daisy!
He bawls to the cow, who barbed him with her tongue. And she moos gentle words as he raves and dances among his summer-breathed slaves, walking delicately to the farm. The coming of the end of the spring day is already reflected in the lakes of their great eyes. Bessie Bighead greets them by the name she gave them when they were maidens.
Meg, Buttercup, Moll, Fan from the castle, Theodosia and Daisy.
They bow their heads.
Look up Bessie Bighead in the White Book of Llaregib, and you will find the few haggard rags and the one poor glittering thread of her history laid out in pages there with as much love and care as the lock of hair of a first lost love. Conceived in milk wood, born in a barn, wrapped in paper, left on a doorstep, big-headed and bass-voiced, she grew in the dark until long-dead Gomer Owen kissed her when she wasn't looking, because he was dead. Now in the light, she'll work, sing, milk, say the cows' sweet names, and sleep until the night sucks out her soul and spits it into the sky. In her lifelong love light, holily Bessie milks the fond lake-eyed cows as dusk showers slowly down over byre, sea, and town. Utah Watkins curses through the farmyard on a cart horse.
Gallop, you bleeding cripple!
And the huge horse neighs softly, as though he had given it a lump of sugar. Now the town is dusk. Each cobble, donkey, goose, and gooseberry street is a thoroughfare of dusk. And dusk, and ceremonial dust, and night's first darkening snow, and the sleep of birds, drift under and through the live dusk of this place of love. Llaregib is the capital of dusk. Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard, at the first drop of the dusk shower, seals all her sea-view doors, draws the germ-free blinds, sits erect as a dry dream on a high-backed hygienic chair, and wills herself to cold, quick sleep. At once, at twice, Mr. Ogmore and Mr. Pritchard, who all dead day long have been gossiping like ghosts in the woodshed, planning the loveless destruction of their glass widow, reluctantly sigh and sidle into her clean house.
You first, Mr. Ogmore.
After you, Mr. Pritchard.
No, Mr. Ogmore. You widowed her first.
And in through the keyhole, with tears where their eyes once were, they ooze and grumble.
Husbands,
she says in her sleep. There is acid love in her voice for one of the two shambling phantoms. Mr. Ogmore hopes that it is not for him. So does Mr. Pritchard.
I love you both.
Oh, Mrs. Ogmore.
Oh, Mrs. Pritchard.
Soon it will be time to go to bed. Tell me your tasks in order.
We must take our pajamas from the drawer-marked pajamas.
And then you must take them off.
Down in the dusking town, May Rose Cottage, still lying in clover, listens to the nanny goats chew.
I'm fast. I'm a bad lot. God will strike me dead. I'm 17. I'll go to hell.
She tells the goats.
You just wait. I'll sin till I blow up.
She lies deep, waiting for the worst to happen. The goats champ and sneer.
And at the doorway of Bethesda House, the Reverend Jenkins recites to Llaregib Hill his sunset poem.
Every morning when I wake, dear Lord, a little prayer I make. Oh, please to keep thy lovely eye on all poor creatures born to die. And every evening at sundown I ask a blessing on the town. For whether we last the night or no, I'm sure is always touch and go. We are not wholly bad or good, who live our lives under milkwood, and thou, I know, wilt be the first to see our best side, not our worst. Oh, let us see another day. Bless us this night, I pray. And to the sun we all will bow and say goodbye, but just for now.
Jack Black prepares once more to meet his Satan in the wood. He grinds his night teeth, closes his eyes, climbs into his religious trousers, their flies sewn up with cobbler's thread, and pads out, torched and Bibled, grimly, joyfully, into the already sinning dusk.
Off to Gomorrah!
And Lily Smalls is up to no good boyo in the wash house.
And Cherry Owen, sober as Sunday as he is every day of the week, goes off, happy as Saturday, to get drunk as a deacon, as he does every night.
I always say she's got two husbands.
Says Cherry Owen.
One drunk and one sober.
And Mrs. Cherry simply says,
And aren't I a lucky woman, because I love them both.
Evening, Cherry.
Evening, Sinbad.
What'll you have?
Too much.
The Sailor's Arms is always open.
Sinbad suffers to himself, heartbroken.
Oh, gossamer, open he was.
Dusk is drowned forever until tomorrow. It is all at once night now. The windy town is a hill of windows, and from the lapped waves the lights of the lamps in the windows call back the day and the dead that have run away to sea. All over the calling dark, babies and old men are bribed and lullabied to sleep.
Hush-a-bye, baby. The Sandman is coming.
Or their daughters cover up the old unwinking men like parrots, and in their little dark, in the lit and bustling young kitchen corners, all night long they watch, beady-eyed, the long night through, in case death catches them asleep.
Unmarried girls alone in their privately bridal bedrooms powder and curl for the dance of the world. They make in front of their looking-glasses haughty or come-hithering faces for the young men in the street outside, at the lamplit leaning corners, who wait in the all-at-once wind to wolve and whistle. The drinkers in the Sailor's Arms drink to the failure of the dance.
Down with the waltzing and skipping.
Dancing is natural.
Righteously says Cherry Owen, who has just downed 17 pints of flat, warm, thin Welsh bitter beer.
A farmer's lantern glimmers, a spark on Llaregib hillside.
Llaregib Hill, writes the Reverend Jenkins in his poem room.
Llaregib Hill, that mystic tumulus, the memorial of peoples that dwelt in the region of Llaregib before the Celts left the land of summer, and where the old wizards made themselves a wife out of flowers.
Blind Captain Cat climbs into his bunk. Like a cat, he sees in the dark. Through the voyages of his tears, he sails to see the dead.
Dancing Williams.
Still dancing.
Jonah Jarvis.
Still. Curly Bevan Skull.
Rosie with God. She has forgotten dying.
The dead come out in their Sunday best.
Listen to the night breaking.
Organ Morgan goes to chapel to play the organ. He sees Bach lying on a tombstone.
Johann Sebastian.
Oh?
Johann Sebastian, mighty Bach. Oh, Bach, Bach.
Oh, the hell with you.
Says Cherry Owen, who is resting on the tombstone on his way home. Mr. Mogg Edwards and Miss Mavanui Price, happily apart from one another at the top and the sea end of the town, write their every night letters of love and desire. In the warm, white book of Llaregib, you will find the little maps of the islands of their contentment.
Oh, my Mogg, I am yours forever.
And she looks round with pleasure at her own neat, never-dull room, which Mr. Mogg Edwards will never enter.
Come to my arms, Mavanui.
And he hugs his lovely money to his own heart. And Mr. Waldo, drunk in the dusky wood, hugs his lovely Polly Garter under the eyes and rattling tongues of the neighbors and the birds. And he does not care. He smacks his live red lips. But it is not his name that Polly Garter whispers as she lies under the oak and loves him back. 6 feet deep that name sings in the cold earth.
But I always think, as we tumble into bed, of little Willie Wee, who is dead, dead, dead.
The thin night darkens. A breeze from the creased water sighs the streets close under milk-waking wood. The wood, whose every tree foot's cloven in the black glad sight of the hunters of lovers, There is a God-built garden to Mary Ann the sailors, who knows there is heaven on earth, and the chosen people of his kind fire in Llaregib's land. There is the fair day farm hands, wantoning, ignorant chapel of bridesbeds, and to the Reverend Eli Jenkins, a green-leaved sermon on the innocence of men. The suddenly wind-shaken wood springs awake for the second dark time this one spring day.